This game was generously donated by Ian from Sega 8-Bit. You can visit their Master System fan site at smstributes.co.uk. Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2 is a sequel to the original Alex Kidd released for the Master System. This is a fan-made game which received a physical release on the Master System in 2017. And you know what? This is a really well-made sequel considering it's running on original hardware. If you told me that this was some long-lost sequel developed internally by Sega and then showed me this footage, I would have believed it. Partly because Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2 runs on the same engine as the first Alex Kidd game and reuses many of the same graphical assets while adding new ones exclusively developed for this game. But before we get to that, the game comes on a packaging that perfectly mimics every official Sega Master System game. I'm pretty sure the box itself was repurposed from an official Master System game because it even has the official Sega logo inside as well as the Sega seal sticker. I freaking love the box art on this. It perfectly encapsulates the feel of the original Alex Kidd in Miracle World, while showing you the new enemies and characters from this sequel. It's pretty clear that everything about this cover and back cover was made with love from the developers. Inside, we have an original Sega Master System cartridge, which according to Ian, the game's lead developer, was repurposed from unsold copies of Mercs, which is where I assume he got the box from. The game also comes with a Master System catalog, which, if you collect for the Master System in Europe, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume you own several of these. They were pretty common and came bundled with several games here. And then we have the manual, which is the only thing that deviates from standard Master System packaging. Firstly, because this manual is vertical instead of horizontal, like every other Master System game. And secondly, because this is a full-color manual, and a damn good one at that. The manual is small, but I love how detailed and appealing it is, featuring heavy use of artwork as well as in-game sprites. This might just be the best Master System manual I've ever laid my eyes on. Finally, my copy also came with this awesome Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2 poster. Though, then again, all of this was sent to me by the game's creators, so your mileage may vary. Booting at the game, we're prompted to the intro screen, and right off the bat, I think we can see the developer's inexperience, because Alex here is clearly cut in half. But hey, this is the video game equivalent of judging a book by its cover. And when you begin, I love how Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2 starts off where the previous game left off. You've just defeated Janken the Great and you're still in his castle, but now you have to find your missing dad. The end boss theme from the first game was replaced by a song much lighter in tone. In fact, this will be your new main theme throughout the game, replacing the iconic Alex Kidd song. I understand why they did it, as they probably didn't want to come off as recycling too many assets from the first game. But I have to say, I'm not a big fan of this new theme song. It just doesn't have the energy of the original. Thankfully, later songs become much better, especially the lava and dungeon themes, which are far more complex than any song in the first game. Gameplay-wise, Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2 is a continuation of the first game. Alex has the exact same abilities and items from the first game, meaning you can jump and punch enemies or blocks. Often, punching blocks can be used to clear a path or create platforms to jump on. You'll also find money scattered throughout the levels, which you can then use to buy items or vehicles. So you'll see a return of the Power Bracelet, which lets you shoot fire waves, the Cane of Flight, which allows you to fly, or the Magic Capsule, which lets you summon mini-clones of yourself to attack your enemies. I also like how the boat from Alex Kidd 1 was replaced by the much more interesting airplane, which basically turns the game into a shmup. and I do love shmups. The level design in this one was clearly made by people who have long since mastered the first game. Because, although the first stages start off rather easy, later levels will push your mastery with Alex in all sorts of situations. The lava stage, for example, has to be traversed by Pedicopter, and it's laid out in a way that forces the player to take their time and fully master the controls. In fact, the entire game requires you to have a good mastery of the game's controls and physics. I've often seen people criticize Alex Kidd in Miracle World 1 for its control and physics, saying that Alex is too fast, floaty, and too vulnerable for the challenges presented in the first game. But I would argue that was always the point. The first Alex Kidd was a thinking man's platformer. You weren't supposed to speed your way through or clear it in one go. Rather, the game itself presented you with a set of challenges which could be cleared in a multitude of ways depending on your playstyle preference. And the same holds true here, only this time the difficulty has been really amped up. The volcano and dungeon levels are particularly hard, though once again, if you hold on to the right items, you'll have multiple ways of progressing. With that said, I do think the developers were a little trigger happy in some parts, namely the amount of ghosts you'll find. For those who don't know, ghosts are an enemy from the first game that hide in boxes, will follow Alex around, and can't be killed by any means. Your only means of survival is by running away and reaching the next screen. I was never a big fan of these in the first game, and in the sequel they're just about everywhere, forcing you to really abuse the screen scrolling mechanic. Lastly, I'd like to address the game's graphics. Now, Alex Kidd in Miracle World was never a great looker on the Master System, featuring simple animations, not a whole lot of detail, and the backgrounds were usually just a flat shaded color. Most of that remains true here, but the backgrounds have definitely been improved. Forests have some nice background designs, and in the mountain level you even get to see some snowfall, which combined with some smart color choices really shows off what the Master System can do in the right hands. Overall, this is a worthy sequel to Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Most gameplay elements were lifted from the first game, as were many of the graphical elements. But I get the feeling that was the whole point of it, to make a sequel which paid homage to Alex Kidd in Miracle World without changing much of what made the first game so great. The level design can be a bit brutal, but it's definitely worth a playthrough. Now, finding a copy of this game is probably a bit tricky to pull off. The creators themselves never set up any shop which allowed you to purchase the game, and I've seen some third-party copies being sold on eBay. As far as I know, if you want a copy of the game that's as close to official as possible, my recommendation would be to register on the Sega 8-bit forums and talk to the creators there. They might be able to help you in some way. Hey everyone, thank you for watching Sticky's Retro Corner. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. All that fun social media stuff. And be sure to hit that notification bell icon to know when a new video is out. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Bye!